Hello students, myself Dhananjay Kulkarni, teacher in physics at Ferguson College. In previous session, we have studied two topics. One is LC oscillations and other is LCR series circuit. Now in this session, we are going to discuss about LC parallel resonance circuit. So for that, let us switch over to PowerPoint presentation. LC parallel resonance circuit. So let us consider a circuit in which inductor of self-inductance L, capacitor of capacitance C are connected in parallel, and across this parallel combination, the source of alternating EMF is connected. Now, during one half cycle, current will flow in one direction. Next half cycle, current will flow in the opposite direction. In the circuit diagram, direction of the current is shown. Don't be under impression that current will flow in the same direction. It is only to understand the concept that when the current reaches the branch over here, then the current will, when the current reaches the joint, the current will branch out into two. Some current will flow through the inductor and remaining current will flow through the capacitor. Total current I is equal to IL plus IC. Only for this concept, direction of the current is shown. Normally, we don't show direction of the current when we connect the source of alternating current. So as I stated, current will flow in one direction in one half cycle and in the opposite direction in next half cycle. Now current I will come here. IL will be current flowing through the inductor. IC will be current flowing to the capacitor. Actually, even though we say current flowing to the capacitor, actually current doesn't flow from one plate to other plate because either there is air medium or dielectric medium. Here what happens is charging and discharging of the capacitor take place, and that's why the current is established. So even though we say current flowing to the capacitor, don't be under impression that it is flowing from one plate to other plate. It is charging and discharging of the capacitor. Current through the capacitor, IC, is coming to this point. IL flowing through the inductor is again coming to this point. Together again current I, that is IL plus IC, coming back to the source. Now let the instantaneous EMF is given by the formula E is equal to E naught sin omega t, where E naught is the peak value of the current, omega t is the phase. Now we have to write expression for the current. Now what is the general expression for the current? I is equal to I naught, that is peak value of the current, into sine of some phase angle. We know that in case of the inductor, EMF leads the current in phase by pi by 2 radians, or in other words, current lag behind the EMF in phase by pi by 2 radians. So if I had to write the expression for the instantaneous current flowing through the inductor, then it will be equal to peak value of the current. What is peak value of the current? That will be peak value of the EMF, that is E naught, upon resistance of the inductor. We call it as inductive reactance. So I naught will be E naught upon XL into sine of. Now phase for the EMF is omega t, and for inductor the current lag behind the EMF in phase by pi by 2, and lagging behind is represented by negative sign and by pi by 2 radians. So phase for the current will be omega t minus pi by 2. So current flowing through the inductor is given by IL is equal to E naught upon XL into sine of omega t minus pi by 2. Now what is the current flowing through the capacitor? The current flowing through the capacitor leads the EMF in phase by pi by 2 radians. Again, general expression for the current, instantaneous current I is equal to peak value of the current into sine of some phase. Now what will be peak value of the current? It is peak value of the EMF upon resistance offered by the capacitor. We call it as capacitive reactance, represented by XC. So peak value of the current will be E naught upon XC into sine of. Now for capacitor, current leads the EMF in phase by pi by 2. So leading is represented by positive sign. What is the phase difference? Pi by 2, and that's why phase for the current will be omega t plus pi by 2. Now these currents, that is current flowing through the inductor and capacitor, are flowing in opposite direction. the instantaneous current through the inductor is given by I is equal to IC, that is current flowing through the capacitor, plus IL, current flowing through the inductor. Now IC equal to E naught upon XC into sine of omega t plus pi by 2, plus current through the inductor is E naught upon XL into sine of omega t minus pi by 2. E naught upon XC into sine of omega t plus pi by 2 is cos omega t, and sine omega t minus pi by 2 is minus cos omega t. So second term will be E naught upon XL into minus cos of omega t. Now here E naught and cos omega t can be taken common. Inside the bracket you will get 1 upon XC minus 1 upon XL. Now current will be E naught. Now in bracket 1 upon XC is omega C and 1 upon XL will be 1 upon omega L into cos of omega t. So instantaneous current will be E naught in bracket omega C minus 1 upon omega L into cos of omega t. Now the current will be minimum, that is minimum value of the current is 0 only when omega C minus 1 upon omega L term will be 0, because peak value of EMF cannot be 0. Another thing, cos of omega t, this is time varying function, so it will keep on changing the value. So the only possibility for the current to be minimum, that is 0, is when the term in the bracket omega C minus 1 upon omega L will be equal to 0. And with this we get omega C, it is equal to 1 upon omega L. Now here, when the current through the circuit is minimum, then it is called resonance condition. So for parallel resonance circuit, resonance is said to take place when the circuit draws ideally zero current, practically minimum current from the source. So here frequency will be resonant frequency, and here omega we call angular frequency. So here we are replacing omega by omega r, that is angular resonant frequency. So omega r square will be 1 by LC. From this omega r will be 1 upon root of LC. But what is omega? 2 pi f. But here f is resonant frequency, so we are replacing by fr. So 2 pi fr will be 1 upon root of LC. From this we get fr is equal to 1 upon 2 pi root of LC. And you might have noticed that the resonant frequency in series resonance condition and parallel resonance condition, formula is the same, that is fr is equal to 1 upon 2 pi root of LC. Now if we draw variation of the RMS value of the current with frequency, then nature of the curve you will get like this. At resonant frequency, the minimum current flows through LC parallel circuit. This condition we call parallel resonance condition, and frequency is called resonant frequency. For all other frequencies, when the frequency is less than fr or the frequency is greater than fr, the current is having higher value. It has minimum value only the case when the frequency of the source is equal to resonant frequency. At parallel resonance frequency fr, the current is minimum, that is circuit allows minimum current to flow through it as seen in the graph. Impedance of the circuit is naturally maximum at this frequency. This circuit is called parallel resonance circuit. Parallel resonance circuit is very useful in wireless transmission and radio communication and filter circuits. What are the characteristics of parallel resonance circuit? Here is the diagram representing LC parallel circuit across which source of alternating current is EMF is connected. Parallel resonance occurs when XL is equal to XC. Resonant frequency is given by FR equal to 1 upon 2 pi root of LC. Impedance is maximum, ideally infinity, practically maximum. Current has a minimum value, ideally 0, practically minimum. When alternating current of different frequencies are sent through parallel resonance circuit, it offers very high impedance to the current of resonant frequency and rejects it but allows the current of other frequencies to pass through it. Hence, it is called rejector circuit. So what happens at resonant frequency? At resonant frequency, it does not accept the current. It accepts currents only the frequencies other than the resonant frequency. So here we can say that it rejects the current at resonant frequency. That's why this circuit is called rejector circuit. Now let us go for the numericals on this topic. In the textbook you have numerical number 14. The statement is a 15 microfarad capacitor is connected to 220 volt 50 hertz source. Find the capacitive reactance and the current. Which currents? RMS as well as peak in the circuit. If the frequency is doubled, what will happen to the capacitive reactance and the current? Given things, they have given capacitance which is 15 microfarad, that is 15 into 10 to the power minus 6 farad. Whenever voltage and frequency is given in the problem, the value given is always RMS value. So whenever they say that any device is connected to so and so volt and so hertz frequency, then the voltage given is always RMS. So that's why ERMS is 220 volt, frequency of the source is 50 hertz. We have to find RMS current, peak current, capacitive reactance, and what will happen if the frequency is doubled. We know the formula, X is 1 upon 2 pi Fc. Here equal to 1 upon 2 pi, F is 50, C is 15 into 10 to the power minus 6. That will give to 10 to the power 6 divided by 100 into pi. Now 100 will go to the numerator, it will be 10 to the power 4 divided by 15 into 3.142, and with this you will get this value as actually in the earlier step this is the 10 to the power minus 6 divided by 100 pi, because 50 into 2 is 100 pi and into this should be 15. So X is 10 to the power 6 divided by 100 pi into 15. So 10 to the power 4 divided by 15 into 3.142. So capacitive reactance is 212 ohm. Now RMS current will be RMS value of the EMF upon capacitive reactance. RMS value of the EMF is 220 divided by XC is 212. With this you get RMS value of the current is 1.308 ampere. So RMS current is approximately 1.04 ampere. Now what is the peak value of the current? Always root 2 times RMS current. Root 2 is 1.414 into RMS current 1.04. So the value of peak current is 1.471 ampere, approximated to 1.47 ampere. Now if frequency is double, what will happen? X is 1 upon 2 pi Fc. So with this, if the frequency is doubled, Xc will be half and RMS current will be naturally doubled. Next numerical, the problem is an AC circuit consists of an inductor of inductance 2 Henry. If the current is represented by a sine wave of amplitude 0.25 ampere and frequency of 60 hertz, calculate the effective potential difference across the inductor. Pi is given as 3.142. Given thing, the self-inductance L is 2 Henry. The peak value of the current they have given as 0.25 ampere. Frequency of the source is given as 60 hertz. Here we have to find RMS value of the EMF. Now RMS value of the EMF is given by RMS value of the current into inductive reactance. Now RMS current will be I naught upon root 2 and inductive reactance is omega L, that is XL. So I naught upon root 2 and omega is 2 pi F into L. So let us substitute. I naught is 0.25 into 2 pi, F is 60, self-inductance is 2 divided by root 2 is 1.414. So ERMS is 3.142 into 60, because 0.25 into 2 into 2 will be 1. So ERMS is 3.142 into 60 divided by 1.414, and with this RMS value of the EMF is 133.32 volt. So ERMS is 133.32 volt. This was problem number 15. Now problem number 16 statement is Alternating EMF E is equal to 220 sine 100 pi t is applied to a capacitor containing an inductance of 1 upon pi Henry. Write an equation for instantaneous current through the circuit. What will be the reading of AC galvanometer connected in the circuit? Now equation is E is equal to 220 100 pi t sine of 100 pi t. EMF is instantaneous EMF E equal to 220 into sine of 100 pi t. We know general equation for the instantaneous EMF E is equal to E naught sine omega t. So comparing we get E naught equal to 220 volt and omega t will be 100 pi t. Omega is equal to 2 pi f. So 2 pi f into t is 100 pi t. Now here we have to find RMS value of the current. Self-inductance is given by 1 upon pi Henry, and comparing the given equation with E naught sine omega t, we know that E naught is 220 volt and from this frequency is 50 hertz. XL is equal to omega L, omega is equal to 2 pi f into L, that is equal to 100 into pi, and L is 1 upon pi. Pi will get cancelled and we get here XL is equal to 100 ohm. Now expression for the current, general expression, I is equal to I naught sine omega t. So that is equal to I naught sine of omega is 2 pi f into t. What is I naught? Peak current. Peak current will be peak EMF upon inductive reactance into sine of 2 pi f into t. Now E naught is 220. XL we have calculated, that is equal to 100 ohm sine of 100 pi t. So I is equal to 2.2 into sine of 100 pi t. Now for inductor, we know that current lags behind the EMF by a phase difference of pi by 2. So naturally, phase for EMF and current will not be same. So our expression will be I is equal to I naught, that is equal to 2.2 into sine of 100 pi t minus pi by 2, because current lag behind the EMF in phase by pi by 2. So this will be the right equation for the instantaneous current. Now RMS value of the current will be I naught upon root 2. I naught is 2.2, root 2 is 1.4. With this, RMS value of the current will be 1.556 ampere. Next is numerical 17. A 25 microfarad capacitor, so C is 25 microfarad, 0.1 Henry inductor, so L is 0.1, and a 25 ohm resistor, R is equal to 25 ohm, are connected in series with an AC source of EMF whose EMF is given by E is equal to 310 sine of 314 t volt. What is the frequency, reactance, impedance, current and phase angle of the circuit? So what are the given things? Capacitance is 25 into 10 to the power minus 6 farad. Self-inductance is 0.1 Henry. Resistance is 25 ohm. Equation for the instantaneous EMF is E is equal to 310 sine of 314 t volt. If we compare expression for the EMF with the standard expression E is equal to E naught sine omega t, we can say that E naught is equal to 310 volt and omega t is 314 t. Here we have to find frequency, capacitive reactance, inductive reactance, impedance, RMS current and phase angle phi. Now if we compare given equation E is equal to 310 sine of 314 t with E equal to E naught sine 2 pi f t, we get E naught equal to 310 volt, 2 pi f is equal to 314. So from this we can get f as 50 hertz. Xc is equal to 1 upon 2 pi f into C, that is equal to 1 upon 2 pi, f is equal to 50 and C is equal to 25 into 10 to the power minus 6, that is equal to, now 50 into 2 is 100 and 100 into 10 to the power minus 6 is 10 to the power minus 4, to the numerator it is 10 to the power plus 4, divided by 25 into pi is 3.142. So with this we get capacitive reactance is equal to 127.3 ohm. Now we have to find inductive reactance is given by the formula X equal to omega L. Omega is 2 pi F into L. Now 2 pi F is equal to 314 and L is equal to 0.1. So inductive reactance is 31.42 ohm. Then we have to find impedance. For LCR series circuit, what is the formula for impedance? Z is equal to root of R square plus XL minus XC bracket square. Now remember values of R, XL, XC. What is value of R here? 25. XL is equal to 31.42 and XC is 127.3. Let us substitute in this expression and we get Z is equal to root of 25 square plus XL is 31.42 minus X is 127 bracket square. So we get Z is equal to root of 625 plus difference is negative 95.58 bracket square. Square will be positive and square of 95.58 is 9135. So with this you get Z is equal to root of 9760. So impedance is 98.79 ohm. Now RMS value of the current is RMS value of the EMF upon impedance, that is Z. Now what is ERMS? ERMS is E naught upon root 2 and to the denominator is Z. So that is E naught upon root 2 into Z. E naught is 310 divided by root 2. Z is equal to 98.79. So 310 divided by root 2 is 1.414 into 98.79. So with this we get RMS value of the current is 2.219 ampere. Now to find out phase there are different formulae. If you remember, for LCR series circuit, what are sin phi? XL minus XC upon Z. What was cos phi? It was R upon Z. And tan phi is equal to, in LCR series circuit, if you remember, the formula for sin phi, that was equal to XL minus XC upon Z. Cos phi was R upon Z. And tan of phi was XL minus XC upon R. So here, out of these three formulae, cos phi, it is easy to solve. And that's why here, that formula is being chosen. So cos phi is equal to R upon Z. R is 25, Z is 98.79. So with this cos phi, you get it as 0.2531. Phi is cos inverse of 0.2531 and hence the phase angle is 75.34 degree. Now phase is normally represented in radians. So that's why we'll convert into radians. To convert from degree to radians, we multiply by pi upon 180. So phi is equal to 75.34 degree into pi upon 180. Pi into 75.34 divided by 180 is 0.4186. So phi, after substituting pi as 3.142, you get it as 1.315 radians. So phase angle is 1.315 radians. There is numerical 21. Calculate the value of capacity in picofarad. What is picofarad? 10 to the power minus 12 farad is picofarad, which will make 101.4 microhenry inductance. Micro is 10 to the power minus 6 to oscillate with frequency of 1 megahertz. Now what is 1 megahertz frequency? 1 megahertz frequency is 10 to the power plus 6 hertz. Given thing, resonant frequency they have given as 1 megahertz, that is 10 to the power 6 hertz. Self-inductance is 101.4 microhenry, that is 101.4 into 10 to the power minus 6 Henry. You can convert it to 1.014 into 10 to the power minus 4 Henry. And here we have to find out capacitance. Now resonant frequency is 1 upon 2 pi root of LC. Squaring we get FR square is 1 upon 4 into pi square into L into C. So capacitance from this will be 1 upon 4 pi square into L into FR square. Let us substitute. Pi is 3.142, L is equal to 101.4 into 10 to the power minus 6 and resonant frequency as 10 to the power 6 square of that. With this we get 1 upon 4004.12 into 10 to the power minus 6. Here 10 to the power 6 square is 10 to the power plus 12 and this minus 6 will be 10 to the power plus 6 to the numerator 10 to the power minus 6 and the product of 4 into pi square into 101.4 it comes out as 4004.12. So with this we get capacitance as 2.497 into 10 to the power minus 10 farad, but they have asked to find out value in picofarad. So we'll have to convert this into power of 10 as minus 12. So it will be 249.7 into 10 to the power minus 12 and capacitance is 249.7 picofarad. So this was numerical 21. One more numerical we'll take. The statement is a 10 microfarad capacitor is charged to a 25 volt of potential. The battery is disconnected and a pure 100 millihenry coil is connected across the capacitor. 100 millihenry will be 100 into 10 to the power minus 3 Henry. And here the word is pure 100 millihenry coil, means the resistance of the coil is to be taken as 0. Now, a pure 100 millihenry coil is connected across the capacitor so that LC oscillations are set up. Calculate the maximum current in the coil. They have given capacitance as 10 microfarad, that is 10 into 10 to the power minus 6 farad. Voltage is 25 volt. Self-inductance is 100 into 10 to the power minus 3 Henry. We have to find the peak current. Electrostatic energy is given by the formula half Q naught square divided by C. And magnetic energy is given by the formula half Li square. It is inductor and capacitor connected in parallel. LC oscillations we have studied. Now, if we compare these expressions, we get half Q naught square by C, it is equal to half L into I naught square. So here, what is the total energy in the gap between the two plates of the capacitor? It is half Q naught square upon C. And this entire energy, when it is converted into magnetic energy associated with the coil, it will be half L I naught square. So it is a total energy. Left side is electrostatic energy, right side is magnetic energy. Now current is maximum in the coil. So we have one more expression for energy in the capacitor is given by the formula half CV square, that is half L I naught square. I naught is root of CV square by L, that is equal to V into root of C upon L. V is 25 volt, C is 10 to the power minus 5, L is 10 to the power minus 1. So 25 into 10 to the power minus 2. So peak value of the current, that is equal to 0.25 ampere. So students, in this session we have studied parallel resonance circuit and followed by numericals on this chapter. So with this lecture, we have completed the chapter AC circuits. Wish you all the best for your examination and future endeavors. Thank you.